I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into the profound and inspiring world of Allan Sankirtan's Dreams Within Dreams. This groundbreaking novel explores multi-dimensional realities, the power of the soul, and how our choices shape our journey through life. Allan's work is a transformative love story that challenges us to embrace creativity, self-discovery, and the interconnectedness of all existence. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Allan, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
It's great to be with you, Logan.
It is my pleasure. Let's start out by finding out the inspiration to write this wonderful story, Dreams Within Dreams.
Sure. I spent my very early life searching for the meaning and purpose of life. I always thought there was a greater purpose to life and more to what we've been told. And I embarked upon a journey to find those truths for myself. And at some point on my journey in meditation, I was picked up by a hand, and a voice said to me, "Come with me and I'll show you the secrets of life."
Mm.
And I then proceeded on a journey halfway around the world, looked at many cultures, many religions, and I finally found myself sitting on a mountaintop in northern India. And I said, "What do we do with this now?" And a voice said to me again, "Go home and write it all down and share it with your brothers and sisters." And that was the start of the second part of my journey, which was to write it down. At the time, I didn't think I had the tools to do that. I first of all had to learn to live what I'd learnt in the marketplace. And so I embarked in an engineering degree. I went and studied engineering, civil engineering. I spent 20 years building bridges and other things. Then I transformed my career into management, and I did a lot of writing as part of my management. I wrote a lot of manuals, but then I had a dream that said, get all of your poetry together and put it in one book and publish it. So I did that. And somewhere along that path, I had the inspiration one morning on the way to work in the train to start writing the love story that I'd written. And I started on it, and then I read it to my wife, and she said, "That sounds pretty good. Keep going."
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
I got halfway through the first book, and I realized I had to write the second book before I could finish the first. And I got halfway through the second book, and I realized I had to write the third book before I could finish the second,
Yeah.
before I could finish the first. And so, because life is a love story and it's spread over multi-generations, and we live it in reality after reality, and we do it with the same people, and they're our travel mates,
Mm.
right? So I wrote it all down. I then proceeded to try and get it published. In the end, I ended up self-publishing it.
Mhm.
And I'd just like to say to the 50 million viewers out there who are going to read this book, right? Because you promised you're going to read my book.
Absolutely. Hopefully.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful book, folks. So take Allan's word for it, take my word for it. It is worth the read, that's for sure. Allan, if you would, talk to us a little bit about the idea that we choose our own social situation before birth.
Right. Well, it was revealed to me during my search that we choose our own parents, and the major themes in our life. It's not, we don't choose it down to the last detail. We choose the major things we want to work on, right? And we agree with other people that they will share that journey with us and help us on our way.
Mm.
Now, we've worked on these things many generations, and the things that I've been exploring in my current series of books is the modern idea of democracy, free speech, free choice, right? How much of it is free choice? How much is predetermined? There's a lot of debate about that. But from what I see, everything in life we all have free choice. But the purpose of it is to express our creativity
Mm.
lovingly and with awareness. And if we can't do that, then we've failed our life. Now, expressing your creativity could mean anything. It doesn't just mean writing a lovely book or a lovely sonata or playing, your musical instruments.
Yeah.
Creativity involves everything that we do in life, building bridges, right? Working with other people, right? We all do things that interact with other people and interact with their choices. But what we have to remember is that everything we do, we have to do it with awareness. And if we
Mhm.
do anything that takes away other people's free choice, right, then we are not being true to ourselves or to them.
Absolutely. How do Aidan and Effie's dream explorations reflect real life spiritual journeys?
Well, partly Aidan and Effie's spiritual journey is based on experience.
Mhm.
Um, some people have said that that's your love story, Alan. um, because yeah, I've met many people who actually met their partners in dreams,
Mhm.
and then they meet in reality. But in this story, Aidan and Effie meet in a dream garden, and
Mhm.
in that dream garden, they're exploring it together. Now, the dream garden is in fact an analogy of um, the Garden of Eden. We live in the Garden of Eden, but we make it hell, right, by our
Mhm.
own choices and our own reactions. But Aidan and Effie meet in the dream garden, and they start to explore their way out. How do we get out of here, right? What do we do? Where's the
Mhm.
exits, right? Um, and they meet Hans and Una, and Hans guides them through a whole series of experiences where they look at life in a different light, and
Mhm.
they look at it through the image of their dream symbols. Now, at the end of the first book, Hans and Una invite them to go back and look at the beginnings of our modern era, right? The beginning of the colony in New South Wales. And it's an analogy, it's very similar to the story of the colony in the USA, right? Where pilgrim fathers came to the States, right? It wasn't the States then, it was the New World. And they wanted to set up a new world where they could explore their beliefs and values in a different way and express their creativity differently without the constraints of the old world. And
Absolutely.
that's the journey we're all on at the moment. And it's idealistic. There are a lot of constraints to it. We come with a lot of baggage,
Mhm.
right, in the terms of our beliefs and our values, and we have to work through them,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
in at the end of the book, they're invited to explore it again in this world in 1978, 1980-ish in Sydney. And they're also looked at exploring it in 1806, which is very close to the beginning of the colony in New South Wales, but they're caught up in a massive flood on the Hawkesbury River. And
Mhm.
they're thrown together. Effie, the girl in that story is Rachel. Rachel has grown up in the colony right from the day one, and she's come with a different set of values to William, right, who's come from the educated class in England and is a navigator. So their beliefs and values are completely different, and they've got to learn to survive in this hostile environment, right,
Mhm.
and work through those things. And at the end of the story, they have to deal with the local Indigenous people as well.
Yeah. How
Now,
can
in the
readers, I was going to ask you, how can readers apply the concept of free will to reshape their
sure,
lives?
okay, so free will, you you selected the major themes of your life. So I chose to be an engineer, right, and build bridges. But where I study, who I study it with, right, and what I do, where I work, that's my free choice,
Mm,
right? So during that journey, right, the major decisions you've made, the shape of your life, not the actual day-to-day nitty-gritties, but during your life, you get all the choices. Do I turn left or do I turn right? Do I turn left into an assassin's bullet or do I turn right and meet the lover of my life?
mm,
Right? These are all the day-to-day choices, and each one leads to a new possibility. All
mm,
those possibilities are explored by consciousness because we're part of a living consciousness that embraces everything that possibly is. But we are focused here, right, in
yeah.
this world, and we make our choices. And you say, well, Logan Crawford is going to interview Allan Sankirtan today, or he could interview, right, somebody else tomorrow,
Mhm,
right? Some other writer or inventor.
mhm,
They're those choices, day-to-day choices. But in our inner self, consciousness is already aware of those choices and they help steer us to the right path for our life. Right. So you've made your choice about what you want to do in this life. Now you work with your consciousness and your inner being and say, guide me to the right things for me in this life now.
yeah.
Right. And so you can help consciously shape your life and the lives of other people around you.
Amazing. It's great philosophy, and I fully agree with you. That is how we shape our lives by our exercise of free will. The name of the book, folks, is Dreams Within Dreams. It is a groundbreaking novel. It explores multidimensional realities, the power of the soul, and how our choices shape our journey through life. Alan's work is a transformative love story that challenges us to embrace creativity, self-discovery, and the interconnectedness of all existence. Alan, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Been a pleasure to be with you.
Pleasure having you
Enjoy
on
your
the show,
day
sir. Enjoy your
and
day as
express
well.
your creativity lovingly.
Absolutely. And to the folks at
Uh,
home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.